Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
And today's topic is be critical of women. And it's kind of an early frame announcement. And the reason is, I've rarely actually used this word, simping. Where these guys are so... If you go on Facebook, you go on...
Oh, my word.
I've just gotten on Instagram, so I kind of see it. But we see it on social media and... when the girls get on the dating apps, but these guys are just falling all over themselves over these very below average women, and it just gets
of
worse.
All ages.
And it gets worse. Oh yeah, from 18 to 68.
I think the most telling is on Facebook, let's say, when it'll be some celebrity's birthday. And it's a female, and it's just this fan group that posts a photo of her with, happy birthday, Linda Carter. Now, granted, you guys know I crush hard on Linda Carter at any age, but everyone, there will be hundreds upon hundreds of guys
Thousands.
Jumping in. Happy birthday, Linda Carter. Like she's seeing these. You're so beautiful at every... Like she's seeing these. But this happens even with divorcees. As soon as some woman hints at being without a man, everyone will jump in there.
Oh, you're too beautiful to be alone.
Any picture with a new dress.
Yeah.
Everybody that she's ever gone to, every man from high school on up just jumps in there to trip over their dick to talk to her.
And it's not healthy. It's not healthy because it inflates the ego of very average girl. I mean, it creates a delusional mindset or belief in oneself. And there's another thing, just like MPB has kind of conveyed to me, because I don't really think about that much, but like these girls use the filters on the photographs so much, after a while they start to believe that that's what they look like in real life.
They genuinely think they look like the filtered pictures. They genuinely think that.
Because that's all they see, other than,
Well, in the best, so in the morning when we're getting ready in the restroom, let's say, at our vanity, the lighting's perfect, we're holding ourselves perfect, everything's fresh, we're rested, we're sucking in, we look good, we feel good. By the time the girl reaches her car, she's no longer sucking her gut in, she's no longer worried about any of it, and she's immediately starting to fall apart. And yet, when she looks in that phone, which is all she sees the rest of the day, all she sees is this filtered image, which the image, she's never looked like that image. She didn't look like that image in high school.
No. I mean, that's where you'll get women that are like in their 50s posting pictures with like flawless skin. And you're like, it doesn't make any sense. And that it's just unhealthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy for anyone. And when I see as much as and I know that some of you are better at picking out the filtered stuff than others, but even Fort Worth and I have had conversations before where I'm like, that thing's filtered like 6 different ways from Sunday. It's just, and he's like, really? Yes. That woman does not look like that.
No.
And then I'll like flip to pictures of that other people have taken of this same woman, and I'm like, it's not even the same person. It is. It looks like 2 different people.
But so why does this play into you? One, due to social media and apps, women's egos are blown up because the only people they used to have telling them how pretty they were was their dad.
Yes.
And that's it. That's it. I mean, literally, they either dated 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah. And,
a boyfriend in college. But they didn't have, a legion of people in their phone telling them how beautiful they were.
Short of being like the homecoming queen or like truly the, Mr. and Mrs.
They truly had
high
to
school.
Compete. Yeah, they truly had to compete. But for you, let's say, why should you mentally be picky, be critical of women, both their physical and their attitude and their personality? is, let's say when you're going out first date, it's so important. You know, obviously you're picking women that you find attractive, but you have to repress that. It's like what Chateau Artiste would always say: ignore her beauty.
Yeah.
Because that allows you, and quite often it's very hard to ignore a woman's attractiveness. So you have to find flaws.
Yeah.
You know, you'll find them eventually, but you have to go looking for them early on. And what it does is it helps neutralize and make her seem like more of a approachable person.
Exactly.
You know, it's just like, I mean, she knows what her flaws are too. She's going to hide them. She's going to pretend they don't exist. But it allows you to see her on a more neutral plane.
Yeah.
And run better game on her, as opposed to being kind of like, oh my, or, you know, treating her like every other guy that's been out with her. You know, one thing that we always say is no compliments. First date, first 2 dates, you know, especially no compliments on anything physical.
Yeah.
You know, you have pretty eyes, you have great hair. You just don't do it. And what I noticed was 1 out of 3 girls, we would be into like an hour and a half into the date. And because you're not giving them any feedback and you're not used to guys not like fawning, they go, so what do you think?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, well, what do you mean? And they say, well, you know, what do you think of me? I said, you know, I think you look fine other than your lazy eye. Or, you know, I mean, you just literally make something up, you know, or you just look at her and you go, you're pretty, but one eye is a little bit higher than the other. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be true. In fact, it's preferable, you know. I mean, and that's what you have to do, is you have to kind of like turn that off. It allows you to have a better time with her. It allows her to have a better time with you. She wants a man that she has to qualify herself for.
Yeah.
You know, earn his attention.
Well, and I would say it goes, you know, a lot of what we talk about with this particular topic is as much on the front end. It's pretty front end loaded.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But at the same time, it will serve you better in the long run if this turns into an actual relationship, to not have her so pedestalized in your head. When you're genuinely kind of looking for the flaws, you do realize that she's human. You do realize that it takes her down a few notches in your head. It's healthier for you, so you're not, you know, tripping all over yourself to serve her or see her with rose-tinted glasses for the long haul too.
And that's where these guys, I mean, good, solid seducers, womanizers, men that you see with a variety of attractive women are very neutral or disdainful of the girl's appearance.
Yeah.
Because it's just something you're used to, and this is very enticing to women. You're used to being around beautiful women.
Right.
You're used to getting their attention.
Yeah.
You're used to spending time with them, you know, and
this is nothing new.
Yeah, that tells girls you just get it.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing. It's not a novelty for you to be around attractive women. And when you start out, the first 2, 3, 4, you know, it is a novelty, but you have to suppress that, and it'll become very natural. It'll become, you know, it's just like any other habit, like not leaning in or, you know, holding your glass low. These are all things that you have to consciously think about in the beginning, and then over time, it becomes far more automatic.
Right.
And then your brain is working on other things. But definitely be critical when it comes to women.
Well, and it is good because you're critical in your head, which is taking her down a notch, making her seem more a neutral playing field, like you said. And it gives you things to work with jokingly with her.
Exactly.
About things that you can tease her about, her lazy eye, her, you know, her fashion sense, whatever it is. But what were we talking about earlier with, like, kind of the do's and don'ts, I would say, of when to tease about certain critical aspects?
Well, you know, if they're heavy, you don't do fat jokes. If, you know, you usually go for the opposite, like you're very fit.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're walking, I, make the sound of a tuba behind, like a circus act, or stomp my foot on the floor to make sure that it's reinforced. You try to find the exact opposite,
yeah,
of what they are to tease them with it. But things that would literally cause her to have a 180.
Yeah.
If she's a brunette, you don't say, I only fuck redheads.
Yeah.
Or you remind me of my sister. These are things that they can't really overcome.
Yeah.
It's gotta be something that's funny to her, even if it makes her a little uncomfortable, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, avoid any controversial, no politics, no weight issues.
Yeah.
If they're slim and fit, you can always tell them how chubby they are. That
Yeah.
you normally don't go out with overweight girls. Hit them where it counts, or if they're short.
Yeah.
You're used to more model looking girls. Whatever you got. But you have to roll with it, and you'll get better lines as you're out doing this over and over.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely avoid anything that would be
hurtful.
A fatal
truly
shot.
Hurtful.
Yeah.
But I do think early frame announcement, like you're saying, bringing
you're a fun guy.
But making sure this stuff is from the first meetup,
Exactly. You can't turn it on later down the road.
Yeah.
It'll throw her off.
But then it kind of knocks her back on her heels a little bit. And whenever we as females are knocked back on our heels, for any of these reasons that we talk about in this or other podcasts, it makes us, it's an inner challenge for us to want to please you better, to look better, to act better, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We want to be better because of it. It keeps us in line, for lack of a better way of putting it.
It is actually part of seduction. Girls are easier to seduce when they're on their heels.
Yeah.
And, imagine if you get caught off guard and you get shoved in the chest a bit and you kind of rock back on your heels. That's what you're doing verbally with girls, and you're kind of pushing them back a little bit. And that's where they can be turned on.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to, running the show, ignoring guys.
Yeah.
Having doors open for them. And now they're with a man who actually is self-possessed.
Yeah.
And is confident in his own self. And she can ride along. It's going to, she can jump on board if she like.
I like it.
If she qualifies.
I want to jump on board.
Yeah. See how it works? but MPB does have a good point. This is something you front load, down the road, you can give compliments and, tell a girl she's pretty. But this is very much those first weeks, first meetup, first weeks.
Yeah.
When you're trying to kind of set the tone and get the momentum going in your direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And we never stop teasing, so that kind of thing never stops.
No, you should always have fun. So I hope you guys get something out of this that you can use.
Yeah.
Because it works, and it works like crack cocaine when it comes to seduction. So you just kind of have to test it. Just, you don't have to, like I always tell people, don't take my word for it. Just try it. Just test it out and see what happens. I think you'll be pleased with the results.
I do too.
Cool.